We recently talked about the solo careers of the former t.A.T.u members, Yulia Volkova and Lena Katina, and in this video, you can find a short history of t.A.T.u itself. But today, we're diving into a project you probably never heard of, even though their music sounds strikingly similar to t.A.T.u's. For years, their catalog was missing from streaming platforms, and only in September 2025 did their 2024 album finally appear on Spotify in a relaunch titled NAWSJEGDA. The project was called Nichya, which translates roughly to a draw or no winners. It was a Russian singer-songwriter duo formed by Alina Kipper and Oleg Borshevsky. Alina was not just a performer. She had worked as a TV host on a Russian channel, and more importantly, she had been part of the creative team behind t.A.T.u. In fact, she received dozens of international awards as a co-producer connected to that project. Oleg, meanwhile, was a singer, composer, and songwriter with his own artistic background. Alina Kipper played a major role in writing lyrics for the two of t.A.T.u's biggest hits, one of them being "Я сошла с ума," or "I've Lost My Mind," and "NAWSJEGDA," Not Gonna Get Us, songs that topped charts across Russia and Eastern Europe. But working behind the scenes on a phenomenon like t.A.T.u also made her realize something. If she wanted a long-term creative future, she needed her own project, her own voice, and her own artistic identity. Ironically, Nichya's story began almost as a joke. While finishing one last track for t.A.T.u, Alina wrote what was essentially a parody song, a playful tongue-in-cheek take on the group's style. Fans later referred to it as "Я не люблю t.A.T.u," but Alina renamed it Nichya. At some point, she decided she might want to perform it herself. That decision did not go over well with t.A.T.u's producer. According to Alina, she offered her $50,000 to drop the idea. She refused. The offer, she believed, wasn't generosity. It was an attempt to quietly shut down her new project before it could exist. The calculation was that she'd take the money and walk away. She did. In November 2001, after meeting Oleg Borshevsky, Alina finished the song and recorded it with him as a duet. The track Nichya became both their debut single and the name of the duo itself. But the resistance didn't stop. Industry connections were reportedly used to keep the song off radio playlists. If radio was close to them, they would go visual. A music video became essential. Alina initially planned to fund it using royalties from her work with t.A.T.u, but those payments were allegedly withheld. Instead of giving up, she found alternative ways to finance the shoot. The video concept came from a memory. During a trip to the city of Ulyanovsk, Alina had seen an unfinished bridge in the middle of the Volga River. Construction had been frozen for a decade due to the lack of funds. She fell in love with the haunting symbolism of it, something incomplete, suspended between past and future. That bridge became the filming location. It was an expensive and logistically difficult idea, the kind of risky artistic move that practically show business usually avoids. At first, the video didn't receive wide rotation for the same reasons the song struggled on radio. For nearly a year, the project existed mostly behind the scenes. Alina and Oleg kept recording in the studio, often with limited resources. Alina supported the project financially by directing music videos for other artists. But persistence paid off. Radio stations eventually began adding the song. Once it entered rotation and spread online, interest exploded. Nichya climbed internet charts and held strong positions on Russian radio. The duo quickly built a following online and reached the top of Russian download charts with their very first release. In September 2003, the track was finally released as a CD single. Under Sony Music Entertainment, they followed it with a second single, Начи меня, Begin With Me. Still, mainstream success in Russia remained limited, so the duo looked outward. Their duo single was translated into English and released in Japan in May 2004 under the title Pain to Choose. It didn't chart, but it showed their ambition to break beyond the local market. Their debut album, NAWSJEGDA, arrived in August 2004. It later saw a release in Poland as well, though without chart success. Between 2003 and 2006, 10 singles were released from the album in Russia, and 3 made it into the Russian top 100. While t.A.T.u continued dominating arenas with their provocative performances and global tours, Nichya existed as a darker, more introspective echo of that same creative universe. There were plans for more. Over the next decade, 2 additional albums were discussed. In September 2006, they released a new song titled "O Mira Yet Zlo," Evil is Dying. A second album, Para, was scheduled for 2007 and was supposed to include both new material and tracks connected to the NAWSJEGDA era, but the release never happened. The duo split before the album could come out. On January 10th, 2007, 4 demo tracks were uploaded to their official MySpace page, and that was essentially the final chapter. To continue exploring Russian pop projects of the 2000s, you can check out my video about the girl group Viagra, who had massive popularity during that era. And if you want to revisit the individual journeys after t.A.T.u, there's also my video about the solo careers of Yulia Volkova and Lena Katina.